Back again. Church is in session. Bless up. Film, church, worship. Talking with creators, not allergic to the work. And speaking sound with resignation. Finding purpose and patience. The scribbles filling the pages. Too many targets to be shot. Can't waste the ammo with complacence. Demons and angels remain in battle for angles. Stained glass light leaking shadows of strangers. Comatose roses only frozen in danger. Listen to the gossip, lose your life to a wager.
You know what I like?
What do you like, Ben?
I like backstories.
Backstories?
Yeah, how'd you get in this business?
Man. Okay, so I went to UNCW for college, which was okay.
Yeah.
Should have gone to Cape Fear. Learned that too late.
Well,
But
it's a different education.
yeah. I mean, I can't talk too much shit because I'm working, so that's good. But no, so I went to UNCW. And really, it wasn't until I met Bean, kind of like our junior, senior year, that I really started getting into G&E because he was working with Terry at the time.
Bean Bramble.
Bean Bramble.
Shout out.
Yep. Love him. Yeah, so I met him and started working with him and got to know Terry a bit. I think I met you around that time and did a little feature in North Carolina in Wilmington called Remember Yesterday that J.R. Rodriguez wrote and directed. John Landau produced it.
Yeah.
And they brought me on to Grip, but DPs kept dropping out the day of shooting, so the gaffers kept having to bump up to DP, and so I kept having to bump up to gaffer, quote unquote. I didn't know what I was doing at the time.
Yeah, it was your first thing.
But it was John Knudsen, Alex Holscher, and they do all the Wallaby stuff, so they just remembered me from that and thought I worked hard and started bringing me on read shoots, and yeah, did a lot of commercials.
Yeah, I remember talking to John. I think I was talking to him, and I was like, "Hey, who are you using to gaff over there?" He's like, "This kid Ben Davis. He's amazing. Yeah. He's great. He's a hard worker.
Love that guy.
And he wants to do this." I was like, "That's great." And you don't really meet many, film kids straight out of college that are like, "I want to do lighting," because everybody just wants to be Scorsese or Tarantino. And
yeah, well, that was the case. At UNCW, it was either everyone wanted to write and direct or they wanted to have a camera in their hands. And
right.
So when it came to actual production courses, I always kind of got pigeonholed as the Grip because I never had any experience practice with a camera, so I was too shy to raise my hand for that stuff. But when it came to Grip and electric, I would always, no one ever wanted to do it, so I would just be, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll lay down and even out the dolly track and, do all the silly stuff that no one wants to do.
So at UNCW, was it pretty production heavy? Did you guys do okay?
No, I think I probably in 3.5 years in the film school took 4 production courses. It's very theory heavy. It's very much every class is watch these movies, write some papers, watch these movies, write some papers. It got repetitive and old, and don't get me wrong, theory is important, but not what I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like I even learned anything practical. I was so terrible coming out of college. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about, the difference between Cape Fear Community College and UNCW.
Right.
You're paying all that money to learn film production. Theory's cool, but also, our industry is not based on theory.
No.
Unless you want to be a film teacher or you want to
have
really
a blog.
Right, have a blog or dissect scripts or
right.
Really learn the ins and outs of a story and how it flows and everything. That's great too.
Yeah.
But also, someone's got to hang that C-stand.
Right.
Someone's got to know how to light a scene.
Exactly.
And that's kind of where Cape Fear shines, and you can get a great education for
cheap. And I met kids my age getting out of college that had already been working in the industry for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I met the professors like Shorty, great guy, Lane Oliver, Slim, all these guys that have been teaching there, and actively just like push their students out the door. Like,
Right.
please, if you get a job, take it. You know, if we got a job in college, it was like, well, that's fine, but you're going to be marked absent, and that's going to go against your grade, and
Right.
you know.
Yeah. And which I get it though too. You're paying to be educated. You're paying to learn. Yeah, you need to show up at class, but also film is about, you know, kind of learning the process. I mean, one thing that Richie and I talked about yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, his like first time on set and stuff, and you know, he didn't know anything at all.
Right.
And you know, it took years to learn all this stuff. It's not like something I feel like it's different than plumbing, or it's different than, you know, like some type of a trade work. It is a trade work, but it's also, I mean, you're learning with other people constantly.
Yeah.
You know, as a gaffer, you're learning how a DP lights, and you adapt to that too,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's not like I got my education, now I'm going to the workforce. It kind of is, but you also don't really need it.
Yeah, it's like getting into the workforce is how I got that education. I mean, I got out of college and I was still working at Panera Bread. I was working there for like 8 or 9 months out of college and just doing absolutely everything I could for free. Just to meet people and learn like actually how set works and stuff like, because I never really got on a real set while I was in college, because I mean, none of us really did.
Right.
You know?
And that's the important thing too, is to like get that experience in, because in film school, it's so like, it's such a, I hate this word, safe space, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to like really challenge you that much. And really you're not like a little peon PA that's, you know, trying to figure stuff out when you have a lot of money behind this project, and the first AD or second AD or key PA is yelling at you to, hey, you need to, you know, close down that area. Like, no, there's no stress.
Yeah.
I felt like you're worried about your grades, but you know, when you're on set in film school, there's still like, I mean, even at Cape Fear, but it's not like their problem, you know.
Sure.
But being in a real world environment, you need that stress to like, you need that fight or flight moments to learn from, you know. Which, I think the whole film school structure needs to be like redone. Like, what if in film school you actually made movies?
God, imagine that.
Like, not just like your
though.
student films, you know,
Yeah.
but like if film schools were like producers or production offices or something, and like, hey, we have this project, we're starting it at the beginning of the semester, we're going to do it all year long, and these students are going to work these positions, and then you kind of like rotate.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, you guys have a movie or a show or something that you've been working on.
Yeah.
And you get that real world.
Vroom, vroom.
We do have neighbors, and they have motorcycles.
Plenty of them. Boats, motorcycles, Jeeps.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff.
But anyway, I mean, if film school is like restructured for that to like actually produce things, I think they would make better filmmakers.
Yeah. I mean, just knowing the hierarchy, and I think, I want to say the first, like, aside from Remember Yesterday, the first, like, real paid film position I had was I was a PA on a NC Lottery commercial.
Nice.
Terry got me on that. You were gripping that, I think.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what a PA did. I didn't know what my job was. I didn't even know who my boss was when I got there. I was like, the producer that hired me, I was just going to her all day first, because I was like, okay, she's my boss. She hired me. I was like, I had no idea what the structure was, you know.
Right.
I remember asking you at one point, I was like, hey, can I give you a hand? You were like, no. Like, don't touch this shit. This is union. You don't know.
Yeah. Well,
like,
you know, and that's the thing too, is like when people don't know, you know, what they're doing right out of school, or like have an idea, you know, it can be hard, and it can be more stressful on you because you're like, I just got out of film school, I should kind of know what I'm doing,
right?
But no one does,
you
know. And
but that's the comfort, I think, that I found in that, like, in starting out. I was like, nobody knew what they were doing, nobody knows what they're doing when they start out, and everyone kind of gets that. So I feel like as long as you've got, like, you're not just some grumpy old head who doesn't give a shit anymore, like, you're willing to kind of take people under your wing, help them out, and be like, okay, no, come here, this is what you're supposed to be, you know.
Yeah.
Then everyone figures it out, and no one gets, you know, fired or totally reamed out.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about, our industry is, especially around here, I feel like we realize like, oh, okay, they're fresh out of film school, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
So we're kind of taking the time to help these kids like learn, which is fine. It's good. It's like an older generation investing into a new generation. But, there needs to be something. There needs to be some type of restructure.
Like a baseline you come out of school with, rather than just not even knowing who your boss is.
Yeah.
What is a lockup?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to call rolling? What? What does this mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm supposed to parrot you? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, there's film schools. Yeah. Come on now.
This is just a whole diss track about UNCW at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the instructor there, like, Terry Linehan's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's the only one I really know over there.
Glenn Pack?
I've never met him.
He was great. So when I say I took 4 production courses, he was like, he taught 3 of them. And he was actually trying to, kind of build that structure. Mm-hmm. Like, one person's going to be the DP today. You're going to be their camera operator. You're going to be their gaffer. You're going to be their, like, he tried to create that structure, and he kind of tried to create that pressure. I mean, he would fire students in the middle of class. If they fucked up, he'd be like, up, you're gone. Fired, you're done. I mean, he wouldn't actually throw him out of the class, but he'd be like, go sit over there for a minute and then come back. Think about what you did, go to timeout.
A little timeout.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was great, but there wasn't enough of that, and
yeah. Something needs to be done. Or we should start our own film school.
That's too much work.
Yeah, dude.
I'd rather work on movies.
Yeah, but we can make movies at the same time.
Yeah.
And make better filmmakers.
That's true.
I don't know. So you did a lottery commercial.
Yep.
And then started working with Wallaby.
Yeah, that lottery commercial I think was the only thing I've ever PA'd on. I was terrible at it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I started working with Wallaby, doing all their reads, JT shoots, all their different commercials and stuff like that. And I mean, John, he DPs everything they do just about. So he really took me under. He came up as a gaffer, primarily in the indie scene, in Austin, Texas, and taught me everything he learned from there. And
he's such a good dude.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that guy. I think about him every once in a while, and I like send him a text and stuff, and sometimes I don't, which I should. John, shout out. We should play skee ball.
Thursday nights, Bull City.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and he's a good DP. I mean, his stuff looks great.
Absolutely.
And phenomenal. And
it's because he knows how to light.
Right.
Exactly. It's because he knows how to light, man.
There's something to be said when a DP comes up from like G&E world,
I think they're all better.
They are.
I think they're all better.
I'm a little biased though. I think DPs that come up as key grips they know what's up.
Sure. All right. Yeah. I mean, so far it's just you and Nick True. So.
Well, I work with this one guy. His name's Sean Kirby, and he came up. He was a key grip for a while, and then he was also a gaffer. But I mean, he did the G&E thing for years.
Yeah.
And I think he keyed for Matt Batchelor. You know Matt Batchelor?
I do.
Yeah. But I worked with him. I mean, he's out of Nashville, and I worked with him out of. We did a commercial in Raleigh. It's phenomenal. It was great.
Yeah.
Looked really good. Oh, you were on that with Robbie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the frames looked awesome, and
yeah, man.
And he didn't really ask for crazy amount of stuff, which I always know when a DP came from gripping.
Yep.
You're not gonna. They will always say, "I'm not gonna work you that hard," and I'm always like, "We'll see."
Okay.
We'll see. But I mean, honestly, he was great, and he wasn't demanding.
Well, they know what they need, and they ask just for that. Whereas, a camera, or sorry, not a camera person, but a DP who hasn't come up from that world doesn't always necessarily know exactly what they need. And
right.
Like I've seen, DPs build chimeras out of Six Flags and a T-bone 8x diffusion when they could have, we had a chimera on the truck.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's that saying, 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
There is. Or you could just skin the cat and be done with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get the same result.
Yeah.
Or we could, you know, throw up 13 C stands and make a jungle.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's always fun for everybody involved. I mean, the crew around it, the sound guys love it.
Yeah,
So.
it's great.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that's the one thing that we're blessed with in this area is that we have LA come in, we have New York come in, we have all these DPs from, you know, all over the world comes in, and there's so many different ways to like set up a key light. You know, there's so many different ways to, you know, have light coming in from outside. You know, there are hundreds of ways. Yeah. And it's always going to be different. But as a gaffer and a key grip, you just adapt to like kind of what they need and figure it out. But it's cool to like see how one DP lights a certain way. You know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And then you learn from it too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was huge for me, kind of starting out in commercials, was just working for so many different DPs and gaffers.
Yeah.
And just seeing 1,000 ways to do the same thing and kind of trying to figure out which ways I liked better.
Yeah.
And how that informed how I do stuff. And then, you know, getting on the bigger shows in town and, you know, applying that to then, okay, now we're running, you know, 2-aught, 4-aught, and like all these larger heads and how that all interacts, and then scaling it back down to the indie scene and everything. But you know, you work for 100 DPs, you're going to find 90 different ways to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I think that's the cool thing about our job too, is like, you know, it's not, every job is going to be different. You're going to have great DPs that you work with. You're going to have DPs that kick your ass. Yeah. You know, and you don't know what you're walking into either.
No, usually no.
Yeah. You have that first meeting, you're like, oh, they seem cool. Yeah. And then, bam, you get spanked.
Yep.
Or, oh, wow, they seem cool. And, you know, like minimal work using, you know, natural stuff and bouncing light and making it easy. And, you know, we get paid the same either way. So,
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a lot about, especially as a DP, like understanding the scope of the project you're making and whether it's like, okay, this is a corporate commercial, everyone's here to get paid, let's make it simple, let's get through the day, rather than this is a corporate commercial, but I'm making art.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got to show off, and I've got to, you know, build the world so that, you know, show off to producers or whoever's watching that I, you know, have the biggest toys. And
dude, I've been on those.
I know. I've been on those with you.
Oh man, there was one, I'm not going to name names, but it was for a pretty big hospital, and the DP was lighting it like a scary movie. And I was watching it the whole time like, dude, we are using like 2 tubes right now, completely like skirted all the way around, full grid underneath. And I'm looking at, I mean, he's like switching through like the false color and stuff, and it's all purple. Yeah. And he's like, all right, let's roll. I'm like, oh.
Great.
All right. And so I'm watching it, like everything is like so like low key, like very, I hate it when people say moody, but that's what, you know, it gets called. It was very dark. And I think it was like a year later, and the videos finally came out, and somebody in post just like cranked it up, dude. Like cranked it up so much you could see the grain.
Oh my God.
And, yeah, it was like digital noise everywhere. I'm like, dude, I mean, it was looking cool. It looked cool. Like for a hospital commercial, I'm like, dude, this is, I want to watch this commercial.
Sweet. But...
Yeah, it looked awesome. But the final product did not look awesome.
No.
I felt bad for him too. I was like, man, he worked so hard to like get it, you know?
Right.
And they cranked it up.
I just feel like that's one of those things in the moment someone's got to say, hey, it's cool, but not what we're going for.
Yeah.
You know?
That probably should have been talked about a little bit more beforehand, but, you know.
Sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's like, that's the song and dance, right? I mean, when you're a DP, you're like in between crew, and then you're in between above the line.
Right.
And so you got to like kind of tap dance in between both of them and, figure out what's going to make sense. And then if you're miscommunicating and they're miscommunicating, and then you get digital noise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's interesting working with different DPs like that and in different environments and seeing their perspective and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So okay, you gaffed Appendage.
Yes.
And you gaffed something right before that though, didn't you?
Yeah, that was Imogene, a song for Imogene.
Right.
Yep.
Shout out
The
Honeyheads.
Honeyhead film.
And then you did Appendage, and then after that I thought you did like
Right after Appendage, I went down to South Carolina. There was a Woody Harrelson feature shooting there. It was like a tier 3 or something.
Okay.
But so yeah, I was Best Boy Electric on that.
Is that out?
No, that's not out yet. That'll probably be out next year.
TBD.
Yeah. Should be.
Are we allowed to talk about it or no?
God, did I sign an NDA? Probably.
We don't have to talk about
so
it.
I won't talk about it too much. But that was a really, really great experience. Got to work with a gaffer who I'd never met and a bunch of electricians who I'd never met.
Cool.
Who were actually out of the, Charleston's version of Cape Fear Trinity.
Yeah.
So it was like my gaffer, myself, and then students.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge to start, but everyone got really good. It was like a well-oiled machine by the end of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you meet Woody?
Yeah.
Is he cool?
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah?
Actually very cool. He was very childlike.
Really?
Very child. He would like ride his bike to set every day, and
Nice.
he would race his bus driver, and so they'd just be like running, like riding in, screaming like whoa, like he was a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool.
I always hope that, because you see these people on TV, you're like, I bet that dude's awesome.
Yeah.
He seems like a normal guy.
Yeah.
He's on TV.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah,
He would talk to the crew. He wasn't didn't seem to have like this air of ego about him that you get with a lot of actors, and just seemed down to earth.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah. That's always good to see, because we work with actors that are, which I get, like they're in character, they're trying to stay in character. They're trying to manifest this character that they're creating. And,
Right.
It kind of takes you out of it when, a grip is like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, definitely.
But then some actors are like, they'll have a conversation with you and talk to you and stuff and treat you like a normal human being, and because they're a normal human being.
Yeah, and they get what it is. We're just making movies. It's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not. It's entertainment.
It's very, it's silly what we do.
Right.
We're very lucky to do it. I think the ones that have a scope of that are the best ones.
We are really lucky. Yeah. Like if you really think about it.
Oh, incredibly,
dude. We're taking a camera and some things that emit light.
Mm.
We get people to be other people.
Yeah. Make up these stories.
And then there's millions of dollars behind it.
And that's where it all goes bad.
Yeah.
That is
right.
Every single time I've seen a production go bad, it's because of the money involved.
Yeah.
It's like otherwise it would just be a bunch of fun, creative people hanging out and chatting and throwing lights up, you know, but it can't always be that.
Right. Well, you gotta have something that's gonna make people income too, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. But also, when there's too much money involved, too many people get involved, and then too many people are talking about, their bottom lines and our stock and this and that, and like, dude, we're just making a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
People are gonna watch this probably stoned on their couch eating Cheetos.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
They'll catch every 30 seconds and then go back to their phone and look back. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Which that's like I catch myself doing that.
Yeah.
Just looking at my phone while I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I try really hard not to do it, but I mean there are definitely some where I'm just like I just zone out.
yeah. Or like an actor pops up, you're like, what's that dude's name?
Yeah.
I'll look him up on
You gotta-
IMDb
yeah,
really quick.
exactly.
And then you look him up and you're like, oh, wait, I think I saw him on Instagram doing it. And then you're on Instagram and then you're scrolling reels and then 25 minutes later go by and then you look back up and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm watching a movie.
You like poke Ashley, like, what's been going on?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, our careers are crazy. I mean, it's insane what we get to do for a living.
For a living, exactly, yeah.
Well, not so much anymore. But
Not this year.
No. I mean, hopefully
Not
that
this year.
hopefully that all changes because
Yeah.
I'm sure most crews' bank accounts are looking pretty bad
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Definitely.
a lot less zeros than there used to be in there.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. No savings anymore. Not this year.
No. And yeah, hopefully they figure this stuff out, man. It's like they gotta do something, you know.
We're close, I think.
Halfway there.
I think we're close. I mean, halfway there, but I mean, I don't know. Won't go too into it, I guess, but
Yeah. Let's talk about Appendage.
let's do it.
Put that face up to that microphone, babe.
Sorry.
Clicking Appendage. There we go.
Yeah.
So we are on Powell Robinson's website. Shout out Powell. You did
Yeah.
a phenomenal job, bud.
Great DP. He was the DP of Appendage. Very nice guy.
Very nice guy. Such a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of talking shit about DPs a second ago, but Powell was probably one of the guys that I like to work with the most.
Yeah.
And he had such a good attitude on set.
All the time. In
All
the
the
face
time.
of anything. I mean, just absolute sweetheart, and no problem really seemed to faze him. I mean, he really just had like a nice calmness about him that kept the rest of the crew going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like one thing. Like, you see these guys get these like nervous energies and stuff, and then you see the trickle down effect, even like big shows and stuff. Like, I remember on Swamp Thing, it's like, I think I was doing second unit. DP was getting a little frazzled, and you saw the trickle just go way down. Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, everyone's getting yelled at, and
Oh, yeah.
and it attitude start from the first AD, from the DP, you know, and kind of go down through the crew. So
Always.
you got to keep that level head.
Yeah.
And Powell, I mean, I feel like he was just so stoked to be shooting.
Yeah.
And it inspired me. I'm like, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
You want to put the dolly where? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. 3 flights of stairs? Sure.
Yeah, no problem. So you gaffed the whole time, right? Because on this, we had some crews swapping in and out and stuff, right?
No, so there was a week I got COVID. So I think I missed, I don't know how many, it was like 6-7 days. And so my best boy, Adam, one of your good buddies.
Shout out Adam Ferguson.
Adam Ferguson, good guy. Yeah, he stepped in and took over for me for that period of time. And so I think that was primarily the scenes, everything going on in the Carolina apartments.
Yeah.
So like when her house, Hadley's house. Sorry, not Hadley. What's her name in the movie?
Oh, that's
Oh
a
my
good
God.
question.
I'm so bad at this.
Let me go to the IMDb page. I don't want to mess that up. Great movie, by the way. Anna crushed it.
Very fun. Very fun to watch.
Shout out Anna.
Oh
Did
my
a good
God.
job.
Hannah.
When you said Hadley, I was like, I think it's Hannah, but
I mean, Hadley's so close
yeah.
to Hannah. But yes, so he gaffed Hannah's apartment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think I was there for.
You were.
I was there a lot for Hannah's apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
think
you
I
were
was
playing
there.
electric for that, right?
Yeah, I came in on electric to. Yeah, that's right. I came in on electric when you had COVID to fill in the spot. There we go.
Yeah.
That's one of the scenes.
It looked great, by the way. Adam crushed it. Yeah.
So were you there on these days?
No, so when we scouted, we had the idea of how it was all kind of come together with the 5 vortexes, one in each window, and just kind of like motivating the light from there, and then just having the practicals. And I mean, that was kind of the MO for the whole movie, just really motivating from practicals and windows. And so we kind of had the bones going into it, and then Adam stepped in and just crushed it.
Yeah. And it helps that Adam has that DP mind too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I asked. I was so certain he wasn't gonna want to be my best boy because, like, you know, he's a qualified DP on his own, and I just felt like, you know, I needed someone really good because this was the second feature I had gaffed. You know, still an experience bigger than the first one, and I was like, you know, I'd like to surround myself with better people.
Yeah, and
know?
Adam doesn't have an ego either.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, we're all working for a paycheck.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
And so a job pops up. I mean, you're not gaffing, you're not, you know, whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, these look pretty good. I want to go to a frame that you were on. So you didn't do any of
none of the Carolina apartments. No.
Which shout out to Blue Velvet.
So that's from the hospital, which probably looks a lot like the hospital commercial you worked on.
Honestly, this was about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I got some questions after this day from some of the crew members. They're like, why'd you light it like that? Doesn't look like a hospital. Why'd you light it like that? It's like, it's stylized. It's a horror movie. It doesn't need to look exactly like a hospital room. You know, it needs to look spooky.
Yeah.
She's got this appendage growing out of her side. You should be immersed in that.
Right.
But
well,
yeah.
and that was the one thing I noticed too. When I was watching it and I saw the scene, I'm like, that's not how hospitals look. But you don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to do what it's supposed to look like. It's about creating that feeling the whole time.
The mood, you know, it's scary. It's dark. She's isolated. You know, she's just in this pool of light on the hospital bed.
Right.
With this strange, almost creepy nurse laughing at her. And you know.
So do you remember what fixtures you were using for this frame specifically?
Yeah, so this one, this was incredibly simple. It was 2 Titan tubes overhead. We put them in this fluorescent fixture to her left side.
Okay.
And then at the very back, that little speckly stuff is coming from, I rigged a Nix bulb up above a sink.
Okay.
And just had it real dim, kind of put a little snoot on it with some black wrap. Just had it ping the sink.
Oh, so that's actually a bulb.
That's not the bulb. That's the sink. You don't see the bulb in frame.
Gotcha.
I don't.
It's pinging on like the faucet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think that was that. We may have at one point brought in a light mat too for some fill, maybe on the nurse, but I'm not even positive about that. This scene was very simple.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun things with horror films too.
Yeah.
Especially on this one, it's like it's not a lot of lights. It's a lot of negative. A lot of negative space.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and but it also is consistent with the mood. Like you were saying, that she's isolated. You know, that there's really only light on her, and like a little bit of light, like kind of spilling from your little Nix bulb right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's keeping a consistent mood throughout.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
So this right here, that fixture actually the art department brought in that fixture.
This guy?
Yeah. And that just ended up working out really well. It had the perfect bulb to just look nice. You know, I think we may have had it on a dimmer, but I don't even know if we needed the dimmer.
So was it like an actual practical light? Okay.
Yep.
And so the bulb that was inside was, I mean, it looks like it's kind of matching with everything else. So
yeah, I think it was just like a low wattage halogen bulb. Yeah.
Well, it turned out nice.
Yeah, that was a really pretty scene. Just the color and the contrast between the, you know, that spotlight on the gash.
Yeah, a lot of blues,
Yeah.
and then my phone's doing that thing again.
Getting a notification.
Here, yep, I just got a text. See,
Jesus,
isn't that weird?
that's really weird.
I'm gonna put it on do not disturb. And then throw it. Oops. Dude, I'm still hearing it.
Is it my phone?
It might be.
Oh yeah, I'm getting all sorts of shit. All right, hold up. I'll do the same.
Slamming phones.
Bam.
But yeah, look at all the blue.
Yeah.
like a blue towel, blue gloves, and then the red. It makes the red really pop.
Oh yeah.
So you had that same fixture up above, or like a 2L or something over here.
Yeah, that was the same thing. It was the 2 Titan tubes, and then the Nix bulb wasn't doing anything at that point, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was it. 2 Titans. Really easy, man.
So what's the camera's on a dolly here, right? So
Yeah, camera was on the dolly. This little tiny hospital room tucked back in the corner. They had put the riser on it. I think like a 2-foot riser.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget. I think they underslung the camera to get that angle.
Oh, really?
On the dolly, yeah. Put it on a riser, boomed all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, came out really well.
Little offset action. Shout out Lane Oliver.
Lane, key grip.
And
Great
then, where was this at? I don't remember this in the scene.
That must be the bar.
Okay.
I think that's Reggie's. Yeah.
Shout out Reggie's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Reggie's is like the best place to shoot in.
It's great.
It is great.
They've already got Titan tube holders above the bar. You don't have to rig anything. You can just walk in there with fixtures, and it's ready.
Yeah. And I'm, I don't know what they charge, but they're very film friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody out there's got a sweet scene for a bar,
Yeah.
check out Reggie's.
Shot a great concert scene in there at the beginning of this year for another feature.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
What feature was that you talking about?
That was The Confession at the beginning of the year.
Nice. Yeah, Reggie's has always been film friendly. I shot one of the first features I was ever on. We did like a huge bar scene in Reggie's,
Yeah.
and it was called River Guard. Shout out Joe Stauffer, DP on that, and Jim Clock, the director. And dude, that place. So we were like running cable,
Yeah.
like up above where. Then it looked a lot different then, because that was like 2013.
Okay.
And so it looked different. It was I think they've like remodeled and like painted since then. It was a lot different. And there was like couches and stuff in there, and
Dang.
it was like, yeah. But up above, we were like throwing cables and stuff, and there was just like cups and like trash like everywhere. Like, why are they throwing
Like
trash?
up in the rafters?
Yeah, in the ceiling.
Love it. Yeah.
I don't know what bartender they had back then, but dude, they were trashing that place up there. We were very confused. Like,
That's awesome.
There's is there someone living up here?
Dude.
But yeah, Reggie's is a great place to shoot though.
It is.
That was a long time ago.
There's no trash up there anymore.
There's
I can
not.
confirm.
I was there a couple weeks ago shooting a band, and dude, that place is awesome.
Oh yeah.
It sounds good too.
Sounds great. It's a lot of fun. I mean, any local band loves to play there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, dude, if you're not playing at Reggie's, where are you playing, dude? Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, there's more. Yeah. So this was day one of me having COVID. So I woke up with COVID the day we were shooting that. So this was Adam as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out Adam.
Yep.
Nice blues.
So that was the Titan tubes above the bar. I think there were 6 of them, and then you don't see them in the frame, but they're overhead fixtures that go over the bar. I don't know if you remember those from your last time there, but the little
Yeah.
I think they have like little LEDs in there, but we replaced those with Nix bulbs. It looks like they didn't use those. And this was actually shot during the day, so the whole front of Reggie's was completely blacked out.
Yeah. Which isn't that hard there. I mean, it's like
not at
it's
all.
only those front windows, and everything else is like
Took like 2 12-bys, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 minutes done.
Yep.
That's still in the bar.
Yeah.
It's like shooting with color can be hard.
Yes.
Like
I love
getting
it, though.
your exposure right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. But and it's hard to tell with the eye, and sometimes it's hard to tell when you're, on the day shooting, whether you got too much. Because if you like just blast, that looks like Mikhail blue. And if you're blasting straight color like that, it can really ruin your image.
Yeah.
That
was something that Powell and I talked a lot about in prep as well, because he leans very color heavy on a lot of his stuff, and it looks beautiful, but it's something he kind of wanted to, step back from a bit on this and kind of stick with a little more realism. So there were those moments like that, like a bar scene where you can get creative with that, and then the moments of in Hadley's apartment when the appendage appears, and there's these moments where this green starts shining in, and there's this anxiety and turmoil, and you can really start to feel that. And so I feel like the purpose of kind of keeping color out of the rest of the film was to make those moments, like emphasize those moments a lot more. And yeah, I think he did a great job with that.
No, I do too, man. I mean, it's not easy. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there he is. She is. Sorry.
The apartment. This was in the apartment, right? But you were.
Yeah, that was in the apartment.
You were back, weren't you, by then?
Or is that the basement? I was back. So the basement. There were so many. That was in the apartment for sure. Because I see that radiator back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That scene where, first of all, I can't remember who's doing special effects. I'll have to look it up. But the animatronics on that little puppet, that was cool.
The movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. So it was we were shooting in the apartments, and it's when like the head like first like kind of pops up and it's like talking to her.
Yeah.
And so we were doing like tests of it and stuff, before we started shooting, doing like little rehearsals. And I'm like standing right beside the special effects dudes, and they're using like a PlayStation 2 controller or something.
Right.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
And I should really find his name. Because I think it was
I'm blanking on his name too.
Yeah.
I know. So Matt Barrett, local special effects guy in town, helped. He was one of the puppeteers.
Yeah.
But the lead puppeteer who did the voice, I don't remember his name. I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. We meet a million people every year.
True.
Wouldn't be on our makeup department.
No. Oh, here. James.
Amberman and
I want to say.
Yeah.
It had to have been James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause puppeteer right there. Yeah, so James was doing the voice.
That was awesome.
And I think Amber might have been doing the controller. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But just watching them operate the controller, and this thing, I mean, there was zero CGI went into that. And I figured they were probably, do some things in post with it. But when I was watching the movie, I'm like, that looked exactly the same as how I saw it on the day.
They really didn't do a lot with it, and you can really see it very well in the basement scenes, where it's really focused on the puppet being tied up, and she takes the thing out of his mouth, and he's like, "Oh, I fucking hate you, Hannah." Like, but then there's just a guy like sitting off camera with a little microphone going, "Nobody likes you. You should kill yourself."
Yeah.
it's I don't know. Really funny while you're filming. Really creepy when you watch the movie. It was great.
Well, it's kind of like in Star Wars where it was like the first one they did, A New Hope, and so the voice of Darth Vader is James Earl Jones, and he's not in the suit. Right. By the way, spoiler alert. It's some like, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's some, British dude. And so to hear like Darth Vader's voice, like with
actual...
like a British accent, and like, well, go get the troops. We're gonna round them up and we're gonna head on out. Like, okay, that's not very menacing.
Not at all. And then
but James was doing like a reference voice because obviously they ADR'd that. But it was funny to watch that thing talk with his voice. It was great.
It was great. And I feel like the final voice ended up being pretty close. Like the cadence, at least, not the sound of it, but like the cadence and the way he talked was like he was pretty spot on. They could have just used his voice.
I mean, honestly, they might have. I have no clue, but but it was cool. Like, you guys did a phenomenal job making that thing.
Lighting the puppet was fun too. They put all this like goop
Yeah.
Little speckly stuff all over them. You just ping a little light here and there.
Yeah. Oh, he's so goopy.
I know.
But everything moves too. Like if you
Yeah.
guys haven't seen it, go see it. But the eyes move, the eyebrows move, the forehead moves, the mouth moves. I mean, there's all these little parts on a face when you're talking, and they kind of nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. The range of emotion in that little puppet is
Cool.
awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was cool to see in real life because, I'm not the biggest fan of CGI. I don't know about you.
I love practical effects. I mean,
Yeah. Like, if it's not practical, I don't really care, to be honest.
Right.
Marvel movies are okay, I guess. It's not really for me. But, I want to see real explosions. I want to see,
I want to see a creepy, fucked up thing that someone made.
Yeah.
Spent, hours, creating this awesome. Well, I mean, I guess, CGI artists do that, but in a computer.
Okay, sweet. I mean, that's cool. I'm not going to hate on you guys, but also, make a puppet. Don't make a puppet in the computer. That was some more from... I remember this lighting setup.
I think that's the reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think our light source here, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Nix bulb with snow.
I feel like just knowing how we lit the other scenes, I would imagine it's probably the light sock, right? And then the Nix bulb with snow is that little tiny eye light.
Yep.
So she's got two eye lights there.
Yeah.
That little tiny one that you're pointing at, that's the Nix bulb with snow.
Yeah.
Which, Powell, master of the eye light.
Yeah.
By the way,
great eye light.
Master.
I mean, imagine if you didn't have an eye light right here. I mean, it would not.
I mean, come on.
Would not be good. But yeah, he loved using the snow too. I don't know whose idea was snow.
We just use that. I think it feels like a very Wilmington Gaffer thing.
Really?
And I want to say it's probably a Tommy Sullivan thing.
Shout out Tommy.
Shout out Tommy. And then DP's coming to town. They learn about it. They love it. And so me, Adam, and Robbie, especially me and Adam on the feature we did at the beginning of that year. Boys of Summer hasn't come out yet. Use snow on everything. It was insane. That DP loved snow.
Well, it's like when you're trying to get this really soft light and you can kind of put it close.
Yeah.
It's the perfect diffusion.
Oh yeah.
And I'd never seen anybody use it until you guys did it on this.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a game changer for me.
Dude, it's awesome. You can just go to Hobby Lobby, get it. I don't know what it's actually called. We've always just called it snow.
It just looks like fake snow.
Yeah. It's fantastic, though.
Sheet of thick fake snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass on Velcro, though. I will say, using it on light mats was the worst. The worst. You will ruin somebody's light mat.
Yeah. Light mats. What's going on with all that Velcro?
Dude, it's engineered by NASA. It's the greatest Velcro on the planet.
It's the greatest Velcro on the planet, and I agree. Yeah. I hate it. I mean, my key light right there is a Light Mat 4 Plus. Yep. It's phenomenal. I love it. I would, if I didn't have one, I would buy one. But also, let's use buttons. The Velcro, setting. I never take it apart because I absolutely hate putting it together. But I've gotten really good at it, and I can put one together in still 5 minutes probably.
Oh, dude, all the beast stuff that we would do with a million light mats, and dude, oh my god, we got so good at building those things. That's the first thing I do on any show now is on prep day. Yeah, I will build all the light mats, find a safe place to store them, and they will stay built for the whole show because it's the biggest pain in the ass. Yeah,
and then the bag.
Yeah, the bag. Then you got to find a place to store that. Oh.
And then the bag. So the bag is super floppy. Mm-hmm. All your important pieces like your ballast and your cables are just in the front of the bag, kind of exposed. I mean, it's not a hard. If they had a hard case, it would be enormous. Yeah. And so the bag kind of makes sense. I mean, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. There's no real protection for your valuable cables
Right.
and ballast and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah. And the 2L bags, how am I supposed to fit the built ballast in that pouch up front?
Yeah.
I mean, my God, I'm always like pulling the flap.
yeah,
Yeah. Get it together. Light Matt. You make great lights though.
you make phenomenal lights. Light gear, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they, but they're great though. I mean,
Yeah.
Lightman makes a bunch of different. They do. They make the Gemini too, or is that
That's Astro.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I get
Gemini
those
is also a
confused
great light.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, their lights are great.
God, I wish I had the Gemini I have now, the 1x1. If I had that on Appendage, that would have been a game changer.
Oh yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, those are phenomenal. But all this right here, there's Vortex out here. Mm-hmm. Was there 5 or 4?
5. So there were 5 main windows in the apartments. There were
Right.
2 on this side, 3 on this side. So vortex
Right.
through each window. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they never played, from what I was told, they never played above like 25-30%.
no, I remember it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was. I mean, I feel like it was more than that, but it wasn't 100% though. And I don't think we ever got them up 100%. Shout out Cream Source.
Oh yeah.
You guys make a phenomenal light.
Favorite light. That's my favorite. Vortex 8.
Dude,
That's my favorite light.
Airy, I'm sorry to say it, but sorry, babe.
Dude, you saw the new one they're coming out with though. Where they basically just copied the Vortex 8.
Right. Well, they had to.
Yeah.
I mean, Vortex is so
Absolutely.
much more superior
Yeah.
than a Sky Panel now. It's got more output. It's got a built-in ballast. It's, is it waterproof or is it?
Technically water resistant, but IP65, I mean, I've had that thing out in thunderstorms and it's fine.
It's fine.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they kind of had to do something. But also the price point's like 10 grand, right?
for Vortex?
No. For
Oh, I was about to say,
the
no,
new,
for the,
like
yeah.
Sky Panel X, whatever they're calling
Yeah.
it.
Even at the time when the Vortex was coming out, it was $5,000 and the regular S60 was still $8,000, I think. So,
Yeah.
is right.
Yeah. I mean, but they're like an Australian company, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. They get it.
Yeah.
Something's going on down under. They get
Yeah.
it though.
They figured it all out.
They figured it out. But yeah, when you look at those lights, I mean, you know, it's to make 5600. It's not just like what you would think it would be, like an LED light. Like if you look at a light mat,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of variable, but they're using a lot of different colors to make that
Yeah.
like very pure light source. I
Right.
mean, I sound like an idiot, but when you look at it, it's like it's not like a normal LED light. Oh, that's a nice frame.
Dude,
Do you know what lenses he was using? I can't remember.
They got no, because they were gonna get a certain package and then had to, I think, get something different out of Atlanta. I might be wrong about that. I don't know. They like this one has started to blend together with the last
It's hard,
couple of
dude.
features.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
when you work a lot to go back and to put yourself in that place again, like, oh yeah, a lot of jobs kind of run together. To be honest,
Oh,
I mean, especially when you work in crew, you know, our days are very different, but they all kind of start to run together.
Yeah.
It's more the apartment.
Yeah.
You know, he was really good with creating shape, too. Was that in the bathroom? I can't remember.
It's like her. I think that was her bedroom.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the color that you came up with, dude. Great job.
That was fun. Yeah.
Oh, where was that at? Oh, that was in New York,
That
right?
was New York, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some skeleton crew days, getting some B-roll to make it feel like New York. Which ended up pretty good. That was outside of our production office, actually.
Yeah, that was the. Is that building like called something?
I don't even. I don't know. I don't know what they even use it for normally.
Yeah.
Weird
Cool building,
spot.
though.
Yeah.
Weird basement.
Crazy basement. It's where we shot all our, basically the AA meetings.
Yeah.
For people with appendages.
Yeah.
God, it was so hot too.
Oh, yeah.
So hot. It's like middle of August.
Mm.
Just blazing, no AC. You know, you're just underground.
If anybody's watching that does not live in North Carolina, North Carolina's hot as shit.
Yeah.
In the summertime. And not just hot, it is wet hot.
Yeah. Like 98% humidity every day. You're just walking through soup.
Yeah, and this is, COVID was still a thing for productions. So, there was mask mandates. So imagine trying to breathe in a stale basement, laying dolly track and throwing up lights and
especially, because I was using that Joker. We had that Joker inside that basement. I wonder if he's got frames from the basement.
I think so.
Because, so off camera left, we have a Joker playing that's bouncing up into the ceiling.
This mouse works if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
You want to get in there.
Let's go. Off camera left, like in this area, there's a Joker bouncing up here. It was a white ceiling.
Oh, yeah, I remember
to
that.
kind of carry the daylight coming through these windows that we have going. Because we didn't have many fixtures on this show. I mean, we had, for the most part, it was a couple vortexes. I think we had an M18, a Joker, an Aperture 600. I mean, and this building in particular had so many windows going, especially when you flip around, you can see. But that Joker just kept overheating, man, because the ballast, and this is something we learned, Joker, get it together, because we had issue. The ballast is supposed to stand upright, and if it doesn't stand upright, it doesn't vent properly, and so you can't just lay it down. And that's with I guess the newer ballast, because the older ballasts, they were fine. You'd sit them down. I mean, it was also hot as shit, but we had fans blowing on it.
I'd never had that problem until the newer ballast came out.
Yeah.
And I mean, who stands up a ballast? I mean, you'd have to attach it to the stand.
Yeah,
which
that's what we had
we
to
do
do
anyway with trick line.
Right.
But also, that's not great. Especially when you're, we're confined with our power sources, and so we got to throw the ballast 50 feet away from where the head is, or you're going full stick on a stand. It's not ideal.
That was a tough building to power to, because we had so many. I mean, we had just about all our fixtures playing for this, and it was like, there were no outlets down there. Yeah. So we were just having to find all these different places to pull from. I think we only had one 7K generator. Like, we didn't really have anything for like exterior power, because we didn't really need it for most of the show. Right. And we couldn't afford it. Yeah. But it looked good though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, low budget indies. What can you do? Yeah. Do you know what the budget was on this?
I think it started at like $2 million, and I think it probably ended up being about $3 million. Yeah.
Which, in film terms, that's not a whole lot.
No.
That's a small amount, but you can still do. I mean, dude, look what everybody did with $3 million.
Yeah. I mean, you just, it forces you to get creative.
Yeah.
Work with less, and like really just, I mean, that's where you get like, especially if you look at like Imogene, where that movie had about $100,000 budget. I mean, if that. Yeah. We had no gear. We had basically no gear, and it looks beautiful because Nick True came from Key and came from Grip, and knows how to shape natural light.
Right. I mean,
get really creative with that, and
And we were also blessed to have, shout out Terry O'Dean, a good teacher too. Yeah. And he kind of took all of us under his wing, and showed us how to light. And Terry O'Dean is a fat IMDb, and he did a lot of stuff. Yeah. But he came. He came out of Chicago too, and doing like big national spot commercials, and doing Road to Perdition, and you know, big movies and big commercials equals you need to know how to light.
Yep.
This is a good frame too. Now, was this in? Where was that at? Was that her apartment bathroom?
Yeah. Which,
So it
if
was
I'm
Carolina
not
Apartments.
mistaken, they used like the apartment next door because it had a better looking bathroom. I think.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We had to go all the way around for another scene. Yeah, because that was like their shower scene and stuff was in there.
Yeah.
Some more Carolina Apartments. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks great.
Looks great.
Look at that. That's that light sock. In her
Light sock,
eyes.
baby.
That's what that is.
So, for those that don't know, a light sock goes on a Titan tube. It's kind of like a long China ball.
Yep.
That just covers the Titan tube.
Yeah. Comes with these two nice Velcro skirts, so you can make it just like a little sliver of light if you want. You can just have it spill.
Yeah.
It's great.
You can have it spill. You can cut it up. You can do a lot with it.
God, that scene was freaky. Where she like the appendage becomes her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looks great again. Diving into the golds, I dig it.
Yeah.
A lot of blue and golds going on.
Yeah. Ooh, I remember this. That was our studio, the fashion studio where she worked.
Where was that at?
Dude, okay, so there's like this. There was a lot of issues with this location. There's this like abandoned church off of Market Street.
Okay.
And we scouted it, and like, you know, just fiberglass all throughout the building, like, you know,
Like loose fiberglass?
oh yeah, like all throughout the bit. And so we made note of it, and we were like, hey, as long as this is like professionally cleaned up by the time we get in here, because like the crew is gonna have masks, but obviously the actors aren't, and we're gonna be kicking all that shit up with dolly track and stands. And so that was like one of the first big snags on the show. This was one of the first. I think this was like day 5 or something. It was really early on, and none of it had been cleaned. We had to shut down that day. It was a whole thing.
You had to shut down for fiberglass?
Yeah, because none of the crew wanted to be like work and like kick all that up and get it in their lungs, and so they shut down the day and got it cleaned, and it was a mess. But then we came back to this place, and for some god awful reason, every time we were here, it rained. But like off and on. So half the day would be super bright, and the other half of the day would just be dim and gross looking. We were fighting a lot of elements on this show. I mean, August, that's peak rain season for Wilmington. We were fighting the elements just about every day.
And for those that don't know, when it's lightning out and you have a union show, you have to have a what do they even call it? Like a
lightning delay.
A lightning delay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, I mean, safety. But so if you're running generators and lightning is within 10 miles, your generator is a high value target for a strike of lightning. So, especially with how quick storms move in Wilmington and North Carolina and in general, I mean, you can go from the lightning being 10 miles away to 1 mile away in a minute and a half. And you just have to stay on top of it, and you want to shut that down. You know, you don't want any jennies exploding, killing people. You don't want your wire getting hit, exploding, killing people.
Right.
But then also, I mean, if lightning, I think, is within 6 miles, I think we were doing 7 because that's what, like, you know, the rule is 6, but I think most gaffers here do 7.
Gotcha.
Then we don't let people outside to work because it's a threat.
Yeah, makes sense. You don't get electrocuted. That would not be fun.
No.
And this is still at that same marketplace, or is that
That's that same church. So there was like an upper level, which is where all this was shot. That was their studio space. And then the lower level was where it was like that large open room where they would do the showcase. Yeah. And the dream was to have like HMIs coming in through every window on one side, creating these beautiful rays of light. But, you know, we had one.
Yeah.
And it was an M18 of all things, so it wasn't really going to give us that punch that we
No.
needed. And that was the hardest thing, controlling those windows, because they were massive. There were so many of them. Controlling those windows and controlling the light in that room with the sun going in and out of clouds and rain starting up and everything was just so difficult.
Let's try and find one of those.
But it ended up looking really good. We had well, I won't say we. I'll say Powell had a very good colorist for this film who,
Yeah.
I mean, it made it all look so consistent despite the challenges we had. So.
Oh, he doesn't have any frames from that room. Yeah, I remember seeing that and like, you guys did a great job. I mean, it was very consistent the whole time throughout the scene, and
Yeah.
no, that's not from there.
This
No, he doesn't have any from there.
That would be her mom's house. Parents' house, I guess. You
Yeah.
don't really see her dad.
We didn't, did we? Like,
We saw him for like 2 seconds. He
At the
walks into the
beginning.
kitchen. He's like, "What's up, ladies?"
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, "Oh, Hadley, don't leave."
classic dad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, more from the
That
apartment.
looks so good.
Yeah,
I love the
remember
red.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's when she was getting when she was making the dress
With the blood.
with the blood.
stains,
Yeah. So Powell's like, "Let's turn on a red light,"
Yeah.
and we're like, "Duh,
Let's
that looks
freaking
awesome."
do it.
Yeah. Talking to the little monster. Now we're getting into the greens.
Yeah, so this was the basement. So yeah, we continued on with kind of the bit of green, the touch of green that we had for the apartment scenes when she was dealing with the appendage. This is before it took over her. But the lighting setup in this basement was actually pretty cool. We just kind of lined like 2 rows of Titans in the ceiling. Barely even touched the camera right one or camera left ones.
Yeah.
But so we had that, and then we had not a Joe Lico, we had a Lico with like full CTB, mimicking a window, because there wasn't really a window in that part of it. You can't see it in that frame, but
Gotcha.
yeah, we just were constantly flipping back from like, okay, this is our daytime look, this is our nighttime look, okay, this is when she comes in and now she's the appendage, this is when, you know, she comes in and she's going to sedate it, like so many different looks with one lighting setup. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I was only on for like a week and a half, and that was probably the most fun I'd had working on a project.
Yeah.
Just when you're doing a horror movie, there's something about it when you're working on it.
Yeah.
You know, how many horror movies have you done?
3?
Okay.
3.
I'm not really sure how many I've done, but it's a different world, totally different world than like doing a rom-com. I mean, obviously it looks different, but I feel like it's open to more creativity.
Absolutely. From like top to bottom too. I mean, you know, I remember working one horror where like the gaffer was even letting electricians like kind of get creative with it and be like, you know, well, what color do you like? You know, that kind of stuff, you know, like just kind of, you know, spitballing and bouncing off each other. And there's so much more creativity. I am a little horror movied out at this point though. Done too many in the last.
You want to do something different?
I want to do something a little different and then go back to it.
Yeah.
I want to work on something fun, like funny. I've done too many like sad dramas and horror movies and just really depressing things. I need to work on something like a comedy.
We need it, dude. Eastbound and Down season 5.
Yeah,
Come
dude.
to Wilmington.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Danny McBride, hit me up.
Danny, shout out. Hit us up, dog. God, dude. The way he got into color was great. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and then also like his daytime stuff too.
Yeah.
That's probably like the best looking daytime stuff in a house. I mean, do you know what was going on here?
Yeah.
lighting-wise?
This was this was day one. This was So I think everything going on in the deep background, that's just natural daylight pouring
Yeah.
in. That was a huge open space, and honestly, most of the walls were white in this house, so every light was just bouncing everywhere. Outside that window that's directly to her right, there's a Vortex 8 with some diffusion. I want to say maybe like a 6 by quarter grid, I think was out there. And then we always just brought that light sock in as a little wrap. So I mean, his thing was there. It was always like a kind of hard edge, bright edge coming from whether it's motivated from a lamp or a window or wherever it's motivated from. And then just kind of wrapping that around the face, making it softer as you go, making it just this nice gradient that feels natural all the way to dark, just to black.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of negative fill. There's
So much.
there's
So much.
every frame's negative fill.
I love negative fill, though.
Yeah, I mean, especially for stuff like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. It's what you want, you know.
Yeah.
You want your contrast. You want
Yeah.
a lot of contrast, and
Yeah. It was tough with Hannah as well, with Hadley, because her haircut for the film, basically, you can kind of see it in that frame, kind of created these curtains
Yeah.
around her face. So there were some moments where it's like her hair is just like sticking out to here and
Yeah.
just blocking everything that's coming into her face, and working around that was tough too.
yeah, I mean that's something you got to think about
You know,
when,
yeah.
when you're lighting scenes. Is like, what does their hair look like?
Right.
Because if they're parting their hair on the same side that you're going to key from,
Right.
that's not going to make sense. It's not going to work. You're going to block all that light.
Yeah.
And you know, for a hairstyle like this, that's almost like, it's almost what you want, because you can, you know, key from either side,
Yeah.
you know, depending on your motivated light, and you know, you just got to wrap it a little more with the little curtains hanging down.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. Anytime she looked down, gone.
Yeah.
Just gone. You just
Yeah.
lost her. But yeah, we found a system for that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, even here with her hairstyle, she has more of like a side part from here,
Yeah.
and so you can't just throw up a light right here, because you're going to create a shadow with whatever hair is coming down right there.
Exactly,
So you've got a fixture down here, right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, we have that light sock coming in from, yeah. Yeah, so that she's actually right beside that same window, with the vortex outside of it. So that's doing the heavy lifting, and then what you see in her eyes there is the Titan.
Now, was
The
there
light sock.
anything? Do you remember if there's anything in the background, or is that just?
Yeah, so background, there's another window behind those cabinets with another Vortex 8 coming in, hitting the background, and then to edge her from her left shoulder, I believe there was a light mat 4.
So
with
above
a
here it's
crate
like a-
and some sort of diffusion that was
Okay.
going through. Yeah.
Gotcha. More greens. That was the basement, right? Or no, that looks like a subway.
It looks like a subway, but that looks like she's tied up in the basement.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell. That one's. Yeah, because I don't remember. I think that the wall in the basement was like white, so I don't think that's the basement. I don't know. No. Oh no, subway.
Subway.
There it is.
Yep.
Must have also been New York.
Which they did not invite us to. That's okay. I'm not gonna hold you against it.
Guys, someone had a vacation.
Yeah, that would have been really fun, dude.
That'd have been nuts.
More of the apartment looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much from the boyfriend's apartment.
No, yeah, I haven't seen it. Well, that
Was this?
was, yeah. So that's when she's fighting Claudia in the boyfriend's apartment. Yeah. Yeah. That was a lighting setup we had talked about from like day one.
This one?
Yeah. This lighting setup, I believe, is the reason that we brought in the light sock to begin with. And this was later into this was like halfway through filming and everything, but we ended up using that light sock every single day at like just pretty much every single shot.
You can see it in her eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a menace arm going over the kitchen counter, or like the bar in the kitchen, and yeah, we had the light sock on that, and then I believe there was another tube literally just laying on the floor beside her for that kind of brighter edge,
Yeah.
and then the light sock wrapping it around.
Shout out Titan Tubes. You guys really figured it out.
Seriously. Made the movie.
Yeah. Really killed quasars. I see I'm on these like G&E truck Facebook groups and stuff, and you'll see them like in the background, like a quasar tube.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to throw them away or like sell them or anything.
No.
You already got them. You might as well just use them as a expensive truck light.
They're a great truck light.
Yeah.
That's about it at this point. Sorry, Quasar.
Sorry, Quasar. Shout out Quasar. Sponsor us. That was in...
It looks like the parents' home.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a couple scenes, and I'm wondering, that might have been the one where she went in and like puked in the dinner.
Oh, yeah. Icky. Yeah. Phenomenal. So we had vortexes out here.
So the window that the mom is at, yes. I think the other window, the one that's actually hitting Hadley, and the one it's even raking back towards the mom is, I think, an M18.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, your biggest light was an M18.
It was. Yeah. Yeah.
So you had an M18. You had a Joker 800.
Couple vortexes, aperture 600D, I think.
Yeah.
Titan tubes, light mats,
Which the Titan tubes
mixed
were
bulbs.
the saviors of the whole thing.
They made the freaking movie. I mean, it was amazing. Well, also, he was shooting, I think, the whole thing at like 400 ISO.
Oh, really?
So we could have used some bigger heads, but
yeah,
we made do with what we had. It was tough, kind of relying on the moments where we needed to rely on sunlight, and weren't able to. I mean, it was such a bummer when that would happen. I think that shot, we're looking through the foyer, and then what's in the background, we moved the M18 down to kind of hit that through that window there, and
Gotcha.
There's a piano back there and everything you can't see, but
it's great.
Yeah, this was a good one. I learned a lot from Powell on this one.
And he's a young guy too.
Yeah, I think early 30s. I think.
Dude,
I think he was 30 when we did this, so he's probably like 31. Yeah.
I would have said 24. He's just one of those guys that just looks young. Not in a bad way, you know. He doesn't look like a child or baby faced or anything.
I mean, I get it.
A young looking dude.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this looked really good too.
That was great. Okay, so this was also one of the days I had COVID, but if it went how we prepped it, I think that was just a Joker.
Really?
Yeah, just a Joker. Or it was either the Joker or the M18. I don't know what they ended up using, but it was just going to be one HMI just pouring in, and then some negative. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing else really planned there.
Pretty single source lighty, for the most part, and most of his frames.
And that was that was by design. I mean, Powell, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, Powell knew what it was. You know, he knew it was low budget. He knew we didn't have the world to work with. He knew we were going to be moving fast, and he knew that we had a small crew. I mean, it was Keys plus 2. Yeah. For the most part. And so I mean, I think he made it simple by design, but he made it simple in a way that just worked great for the film and really looked good.
Right. Dude, you know what I'm noticing?
What?
It's all Hadley. And her mom.
Oh yeah.
And the monster.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
there's one of the Cosser, which man, they could have picked a better frame for Cosser. Shout out Cosser. She was so sweet. Honestly, the whole cast was super friendly. That was another thing that made this movie great.
What's her boyfriend's name again? Is he a local guy?
No, he's not local.
I didn't see him in anything else.
I think his real name is Michael, or is it Brandon?
Find out.
I don't know.
Dude, I'm so bad with
Brandon. It's Brandon Michael Smith.
Brandon Michael Smith.
Yeah.
Shout out Brandon Michael Smith.
Super nice guy.
So nice. He was talented.
Yeah.
Great. Funny.
Great energy. Always just like Powell, always seemed very stoked to be there.
Stoked.
High energy, just
What's he doing?
I don't know, man.
Let's check him out.
Oh my God, he was in the Ninja Turtles movie.
No way.
Bro.
Dude.
That's pretty
Brandon.
sweet. Wait, that's not the new one.
Oh, wait.
What is that? Is that just an ad? Oh, it's a Netflix series. Anyway. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There it is.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah, dude. He was voice of Mikey.
Let's go.
And he did the movie. Wow. Good for you, bro. Yeah, he was so nice. I mean, there was like, I remember one day he was like leaving. He's like, all right, man, I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, see ya.
Yeah. He gave me a big old hug after his first day there.
Really?
And I was like, man, we didn't really interact before this. Like, but he was just like, I saw you working hard. Like, you know, he was just like going up to everybody. Like, I saw you working. Like, you guys are doing great. Like, you know, love you guys. And that was, you know, means a lot as a crew member, I think, to get that from an actor.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in our industry, we're the workforce. We're the blue collar guys. We're not really like the cool ones or the we're not in front of the camera. We're not, you know, we're the dirty guys that are slinging cables and stands and dollies, and you know, we don't really get talked to that much by anybody else. And it's not like we need to be talked to. It's just, you know,
we need to be talked to. Please,
but it's
we
just,
need love.
It's nice to, you know, be acknowledged.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, you know, when everyone can get on set and kind of like, you know, understand the hierarchy and how it works and the flow of communication, but then also just treat everybody as your equal. Because, again, we're making movies. It's not that.
Our blood is red.
Yes.
None of...
Man, the boyfriend's apartment I thought looked really good.
I did too.
There were a lot of scenes, not a lot. There were a few scenes in there. But I thought they looked great.
Yeah, Powell, why aren't you putting those frames up, bud? Yeah, because there was... and also, what's her face? Claudia.
Oh, yeah, Emily Hampshire.
Dude, when I found out she was on here, I kind of nerded out a little bit because I love Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. My dad, too, is a big Schitt's Creek fan. He went crazy. He was like, no way.
Yeah.
And she was very, very nice, man. I believe she was kind of going through a lot. Like, I think there were some difficult things going on in her life in that moment, and she was just professional and kind throughout. So
yeah,
very good to work with.
Yeah, I wasn't around too many of the scenes that she was in, but she seemed cool. And then when I found out she was on, I'm like, dude, she like gets me. You know, like if her character in Schitt's Creek is like actually like how she is, like, dude, you get me.
She knows me, dude.
Yeah. I mean, phenomenal show, hilarious, and also, speaking of Schitt's Creek, Catherine O'Hara. Did you watch Schitt's Creek at all?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Try it.
Okay.
Just try it. Try a couple episodes. Catherine O'Hara. You know what Catherine O'Hara is?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. She's top notch. Okay. Yeah. And then they put her in this role of like a snobby rich lady, and she crushes it, dude.
Let's go.
She's hilarious. I never really thought of her as like a comedic actor, you know?
Right.
But she's great, phenomenal.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sold.
Give it a try.
I'll check it out now.
I mean, look at her. I mean, come on now. She's funny. She's great.
Yeah.
I mean, in my heart, she's always Kevin's mom. From Home Alone.
Yeah. And yet you didn't see her in a comedic light.
Well, she's not a comedic actor like in that. She's a distressed mom, you know.
Yeah. She's kind of funny.
Yeah, she's funny. She's got funny moments and stuff. Yeah. And when, you know, she's in the back of the U-Haul and they're trying to get her to play the saxophone. I mean, and then her just being angry as amazing.
Yeah.
And then Beetlejuice and stuff. But you never really see her in, like, that was the first. I mean, I'm sure she's had other roles where she's in more of like a comedic type of setting. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, you gotta check it out. I'm not gonna spoil it too much. But yeah, so when I saw that Emily was gonna be on this, I'm like, dude,
Get me on it.
I want to meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
That
was really
exciting.
great.
Good cast, man.
Good cast, especially for like a low budge, you know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
good cast for.
We were supposed to. So the guy that. Oh man, what was his name? It wasn't Stefan. Her boss's name in the movie. I don't know why I'm forgetting all these names.
Hadley's boss.
Hadley's boss.
This guy, Steven.
Oh no, Desmond. Christian. So
Oh, yeah.
Desmond there was a savior. He was so good in that movie, and he actually. So the guy that was originally supposed to play his part was Orlando Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's local. He lives here.
Does he
And,
really?
yeah, he lives either Landfall or Figure Eight. He's somewhere here.
Orlando, hit me up. Get on the pod,
for
bro.
real, come on. But I don't know. He had to back out kind of last minute. Like I think the day before his first scene. And this guy, they just found him, stepped in, like flew out, came in and killed it.
Really?
Yeah, he was hilarious, super nice, easy to work with. Yeah, and just stepped into the role and did an amazing job.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole character of being a high-end fashion designer, and
It was kind of hard to take him seriously. He looked like a Jedi.
yeah,
I mean, he was wearing the white cape and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I was into it. Like, it
was great.
Yeah, you're a fashion designer for sure, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he sold that character really well to me.
Yeah.
But also that whole like story was cool too, which I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting. Like, I didn't work full time on it, so I didn't realize that there was like a whole, there's a whole other backstory besides an appendage, and with that, kind of bringing in her inner self-doubt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a really cool. That was a really cool scenario to see. Being played out, and with his character for sure was
Absolutely.
he gave me anxiety just
Dude,
watching it. I'm like, oh gosh.
stressed me the fuck out.
Yeah, definitely.
He was nice, though. Can I curse on this podcast? I didn't even ask to begin with. I think I've said fuck like 8 times.
Well, we're an hour and a half deep of saying fucking
All right,
stuff,
cool.
so I don't think YouTube likes it very much, but I don't care.
I don't, whatever. But no, he was great. God, there was another point I was going to make.
I'll bleep it out if it's a problem for YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, because the whole point is, we're not just doing this we are doing it for fun, but also like, I'm telling the story of Ben Davis. Or
Yeah,
trying
come on,
to.
man.
Yeah.
People say fuck. Anyway, no, so and I don't know if you knew this, but Appendage was originally a short film, like a 5-minute short film, like that went to Cannes and like big festivals and did
really?
very well. And I think that's how they got the traction from Hulu and the backing and funding and everything was from that short film. And it's basically just that B plot of the movie that, she's a fashion designer, struggling, boss is a dick, and she goes home, the appendage like pops out of her side, and it's kind of that whole same scene in the apartment, and she gets the inspiration, brings in the dress, he loves it, boom. And it's hilarious and funny and really well done, very similar puppet. And yeah, that's where this whole thing came from. And so the fact that they kind of kept it true to that and kept that story there was pretty cool.
Yeah. Great writing, and it's good to see like a writer director too, like still getting after it.
First time too. First time feature.
Wow.
And yeah.
For your first feature,
I mean, come on,
dude.
dude.
Good job,
Yeah.
Anna.
Yeah.
Crushed it. First feature.
Can't say nice enough things about Anna and Powell.
Yeah.
Very, 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 two sweethearts, like very calm heads of the ship. And just great to work
Does she
for.
pronounce it Anna or Anna?
Anna.
Anna. I'm
Anna,
sorry.
yeah.
I apologize if you see this.
It's okay.
Anna. Yeah, I mean, she's done some shorts,
Mm-hmm.
bite-sized Halloween TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of shorts.
Yeah, I think you can also catch the Appendage short on Hulu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was part of one of their Huluweens a few years ago. Yeah.
Which Hulu, come on with your horror shorts. That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
keep it coming, man.
they did that. Was that 2020 or 2019 when they started doing that? I mean, that was
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
'Cause there were some funny ones too. That was like one with like a clown, and one with like a mascot thing that was like hugging children to death.
Oh my god. That sounds fucked up.
Yeah, it was a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was pretty good. It was funny.
Wow.
It was good.
No, they need to keep it up. And funding indie film, come on.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like it's something that Wilmington doesn't necessarily have enough of, that gives, people like you and me a chance to shine and step up and do what we love in a bigger capacity. And
Well, there's some key players out there that are fighting to bring more indie projects here.
right.
Slightly larger indie projects. I mean, this past year I had 4
Right.
indie features. One of them was shot. The other ones got canned because of the strikes and
Yeah.
yeah. And so the market is there. The crew is here.
Yep.
There is a missing piece, and it's called money.
Yeah.
And distribution's way easier now than it was like 10, 15 years ago. The access to gear is extremely easy.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have screen gems anymore. We've got CineSpace now.
We also have Dark Horse.
Dark Horse, which I think they're teaming up with FilmWorks, right?
And Cine. Oh my God.
Oh, not FilmWorks.
Cinelease.
Cinelease. Yep.
Yeah. I
And-
blanked on that one for a second.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the crew, we've got the manpower, we've got the talent, we've even got quite a few handfuls of local DPs
Yep.
that are pretty good. I mean, Derek Tyndall's phenomenal. I mean, he did most of second unit of Reprisal.
Right.
That stuff looked great. It looked awesome. Did you watch any Reprisal?
A little bit. He did. He also did half a Hightown, I believe.
Right. And he does stuff with Lighthouse, and
Yeah.
he's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
And, we have the infrastructure here. The only thing that we don't have is funding and producers, really. I mean, we've got some producers. We've got local producers that do the big shows and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
they're I don't think they're really going out of their way to do indie stuff.
I mean, they don't really need to.
No. Why would you when you are doing Swamp Thing, Reprisal, Under the Dome,
Yeah.
Secrets
Summer
and
I Turn
Lies,
Pretty.
Summer I Turn Pretty?
Come on.
Yeah, so you producers out there in LA that want to escape the mayhem out there, come on in.
Yeah. There's plenty
'cause
of us.
There's plenty of us, and you know what? I don't want to be a producer. I don't want that job. That job seems like it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of money involved with it, which that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
especially
Good for you. You maybe deserve it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if you can put together a movie, I mean, shout out producers of Appendage. You guys put out a phenomenal film
Yeah.
with not a whole ton of money.
Yeah.
And, the days weren't crazy long.
No, I don't. Well, there was there was one day they did overtime, but I think out of a 25-day shoot, like 23 of those days were 12-hour days. which is what we signed up for, you know?
Which is almost unheard of too.
Yeah.
I mean, with an indie horror, low budget feature, usually you see some OT and you see some real long nights and Fridays and
Yeah.
watching the sunrise over the grip truck while you're smoking a cigarette that you don't want to be smoking, and you feel like garbage, and you're on your 8th Diet Coke, and the sunrise is the nicest thing that you've seen in 24 hours, and
You lay your head down on your pillow finally, and then the birds start chirping.
Yeah.
and
that's
the best.
Yeah,
None of that on this.
Yeah, and it was very smooth to me. The days that I were there, it was great. And what's cool about the Carolina Apartments? Everybody shoots there.
Yeah.
And did you ever watch Blue Velvet?
No, that's one I haven't. I know it was shot there.
It's like mostly shot there.
Yeah.
It's cool. You should check it out because it's cool to see. I can't even think of what year it came out.
I don't know. Was it 80s or 90s? I'm gonna look stupid.
86.
No, it was 86. Okay.
I can't fucking see. 86. Yeah. So it was shot in 85. Yeah. Great movie. A little weird.
That's David Lynch.
It is David Lynch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's something a little controversial. Not the biggest David Lynch fan.
Ooh.
I said it.
All right.
Blue Velvet was
Sure.
okay, but you haven't seen it, so we can't talk about it.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I'm like not a huge film nerd.
What?
I love making movies.
What's your top 10?
Top 10 movies?
Yeah.
God.
Have you seen 10 movies?
No. Let's see. Shrek, Cars. No. I don't know. Trainspotting is up there for sure. I love horror movies. Like I go through periods of time where like just about every October I'll watch a horror movie like every day.
Yeah, that's like
You
got
kinda
to.
have to.
Yeah, Christmas time, you're watching a Christmas movie every day.
But man, I mean, recent films, old film, I don't know, man. There's just too many.
You don't have a top 10 your go-to?
Not really. I'm not a huge rewatcher either. I like
Really?
watching new stuff. Like I'll rewatch, but I just like watching. Yeah.
You can't. Okay.
Because then I start to break it down too much. So like I love I watch movies and I just really turn the filmmaking brain off and just watch it. As a view, because it's really hard to do that as someone who's like behind the camera all the time,
right?
Not overanalyze it. And so when I watch a movie like 2-3 times, I just really start to overanalyze it to the point where I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I try not to do that.
That's our curse.
Yeah.
As filmmakers. Yeah. But you don't have one of my favorite movies is
Trainspotting.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen Trainspotting.
It's great. Ewan McGregor in his prime. Well, maybe not. Maybe Star Wars may have been his prime. No, Trainspotting is great. Very, very stylized. Fucking awesome film.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's great. I used to be huge into Tarantino.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, so I mean, I love his movies, just mostly for the nostalgia aspect of that. Anything Scorsese.
It's raining.
Oh.
I was like, what is is that locust?
I said I didn't like films, and they were like, no.
Yeah, the film gods have spoken.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but my podcast name is Film Church Podcast. So,
ooh, nice.
The film gods have spoken. So, Trainspotting was your number. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, for sure. That was my number one for a really long time.
I'm digging those frames.
Oh, it's great. I don't think there's a bad frame in that movie.
Sick boy. Oh, look at all that red, dude.
Man, I'm telling you.
Get into it.
Super good.
Well, I'm definitely going to watch this. Add to watch list. Oh, I got to sign. No.
I'll text you later.
Yeah, I'll remember. But you like Tarantino?
Used to like Tarantino a lot more.
Used to.
Now
What happened?
his is one of the that like his movies are one of those where I watched them too many times and started to hate them because I started to like, I don't know, really pick things apart that were unnecessary. I don't know. I get too like analytical.
How dare you,
about,
sir?
I know it sucks.
How
bro.
dare you? How can you say you like a Tarantino movie then you don't like a Tarantino movie?
Yeah, it's weird, right? I started to hate Pulp Fiction. Like I loved it, and then I out of nowhere just started to hate it. Like
All right.
I would like watch scenes and be like, why is the writing so fucking bad? Like,
Oh
why is
my
the dialogue
God.
so bad in this? You know, like you see something. I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I get it. When, long, drawn out conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I feel like I can say it because I'm a huge Tarantino fan.
Yeah.
But, bro, I get your writing. I don't get your writing. I should say that. I don't get your writing. I don't get your dialogues, but I like it.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it all works. The directing is phenomenal. The shots are always beautiful.
Yeah.
Great looking films. Just,
Yeah.
God damn, some of the dialogue is cringy. Like you get to the core of it, and it's like you watch it a few times, and you're like, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. But I like that it's cringy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, life is cringy. I'm cringy. I mean, I'm gonna watch this later and just like crawl in my skin.
Same, dude.
So, but yeah, no, Inglourious Bastards, great movie. Django, great movie.
Love it.
What was the newest one? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I actually really loved.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
I don't like hate it now, but I used to be a much bigger fan before I just overanalyzed them to hell.
Right. I love. Did you ever watch Death Proof?
No. Is that Tarantino?
Yep.
Huh.
You ever watched Death Proof?
No.
That's my favorite Tarantino film. So it was they called it Grindhouse double feature.
Okay.
So it was Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino. They teamed up. So like back in the day, like in the middle 70s,
Yeah.
they kind of late 60s too, but they would have these exploitation films.
Yeah.
So you had these like sexploitation films, black exploitation films, and it was like kind of like our modern day like indie film scene.
Yeah.
And so, but a lot more, I don't know what the right word to say, but not PC for sure.
No.
Very cringy, very
John Waters.
yeah, like it's not a family friendly type of movie environment,
No, not at all.
So they kind of like wanted to recreate that a little bit, that like real dirty film,
Sure.
real like just real crunchy looking and stuff, and
Yeah.
and so I think it was like 2007 when it came out.
Oh wow.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, do it.
I'll do Death Proof. Yeah, 2007.
Okay.
Dude,
Kurt Russell and Zach.
you've never seen this?
No.
Bro, it's my favorite Tarantino movie ever.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's basically about a foot fetish serial killer.
That checks out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he has this car that's called Death Proof. So he's like a stunt driver.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a stunt driver in Hollywood. And I don't want to give too much of it away because you really do need to watch it. Especially like the cinematography is amazing. And which I think Tarantino DP'd it.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Writer and director.
Nice.
Let's see. Go on down to cast and crew. Cinematography by Quentin Tarantino. Yep.
Dang.
Shot on film. You can't be a dummy.
I mean, he only shoots on film, doesn't he?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure everything is shot on like film, either 35 or 75 or whatever, 70. Yeah, but it looks amazing. So at the time, 2007. Okay, they shot this in 2006. So they're recreating this like grindhouse, and that's what the genre of film was called back then. Was like grindhouse films.
Okay.
And so they were shown in these like dingy theaters and stuff. They would like show like pornos and stuff. And they would show these like kind of like slasher indie films that are like, you know, there's no money into it.
Totally.
Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I would consider a grindhouse film.
Right.
You know, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this and stuff. I'm probably getting this all wrong. So I apologize. But so he kind of like wanted to recreate that. And so him and Robert Rodriguez teamed up, and Tarantino was like, hey, you produce my movie, I'll produce your movie.
Yeah.
Okay? So they did Planet Terror and Death Proof.
Okay.
Did you ever see Planet Terror?
No. No, this.
You got some homework to do, babe.
Yeah, this 2007 collab is new to me.
Yeah. So I saw this in theaters.
Okay.
I was blown away.
I'm sure.
'Cause it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Okay, and you watch 2 movies at once. And there was like an intermission and stuff. And they made I don't know if it's on the DVD or Blu-ray and stuff, but they made like all these like trailers to other movies and stuff, like before the movie started.
Okay.
And so there was one trailer that they did with Danny Trejo. It was called Machete.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Machete?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So they did the trailer to Machete, and it wasn't even a movie that they were going to make.
Right.
But everyone is freaking out like, when's that Danny Trejo movie going to happen? And Rodriguez was like, I guess it's going to happen. Let's do it. So they shot all these like fake trailers and stuff. They had one that was, I think it was like a Thanksgiving turkey gets his revenge or something and like kills all these people.
Okay, yeah.
But they made it look like a 70s movie.
Yeah.
So what they did was I think Planet Terror, I don't think they shot it on film. I think they shot it digital. Okay. And then they printed it on film.
Yeah.
And they put it through like a projector, and they just like watched it like nonstop, or it just like played like nonstop for like hours and hours and hours and hours. And they did it through like a junky projector too. So it like it just beat up the film. It's like putting all these scratches on it and stuff, and it makes it look like really dirty and gross. And they, you know, kind of left it like that. And so it was like a double feature. I don't know.
Did they like scan it back to digital at that point?
I think so.
Like,
I think they'd
screw up the film and then
they might have shot it film too. I'm not really sure. I wasn't there. But
God, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. You should check it out for sure.
Wow. Kind of big names in that too.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know about this.
He's kind of known for like giving these big actors
a weird ass role.
Yeah, a weird ass role and like you know, a couple lines. And yeah, but Kurt Russell is, dude, the GOAT.
God.
Zoe Bell's in it. I don't want to give it away too much, but
I mean, it looks like she plays herself.
Yes, and she ends up on the front of a car.
Okay.
I can't believe you haven't seen this movie.
No, I haven't. Eli Roth. Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah.
He plays a boyfriend.
Good.
For like 20 minutes, and
he's got to get a paycheck.
Yeah, dude.
God, he hasn't been in anything in like the longest time, has he?
Why would you? You know?
I guess.
Why would you? What have you been up to, Eli?
Well, this is not who I thought.
Eli Roth? Who do you think?
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
That's not the face I expected.
He was. He played.
Maybe I need to watch more movies.
He played the Bear Jew. The Bear.
Oh,
the
Bear Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He did Hostel, Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
Oh, here's IMDb for Grindhouse. Dude, we're just gonna watch this trailer for a second because who cares?
All right, let's do it. Unless it blacks it out. Okay. No, it won't.
Yeah, I probably won't show it, but yeah, they just like kind of dove into that old.
Yeah.
There's Machete.
Nice. Dude.
Oh, that's the trailer for. Yeah, Planet Terror is like a zombie movie.
Okay.
Is my
into
favorite
it.
zombie movie for sure.
Love it. Let's go.
Yeah, dude.
That looked like the kid from the Babadook.
I think it was. Was it?
Might have been. I mean, this was around the same time. Was Babadook like, what was that, like 2011?
Yeah.
Another
So-
favorite film of mine.
Oh yeah.
I
Babadook.
guess I could, yeah. I don't know, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
You asked me what my favorite movie is, and then like 800 start rolling through my head, and then I'm like, but is that really? I could think of a better one.
Well, it's hard, especially
like,
as
you know,
filmmakers, to
Yeah.
say like, "This is my number 2 favorite. This is my number 3."
You really can't. It's all about a mood,
Right.
Like what mood you're in, and
Yeah. I don't know. I might be different though. I have a pretty solid.
what's
10.
your what's your 10? Or
Or
just 5 of your 10.
Okay.
You don't have to go through the whole 10.
Dude, it's really coming down.
Yeah, I wonder if it's adding or if it's just detracting.
We are in an aluminum building, by the way, everybody, so we hear everything.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy this.
I would say Godfather,
Okay.
Pulp Fiction,
All right.
Grindhouse.
Wow.
I'm gonna say both of those in one, because there was a double feature.
Right.
But Death Proof out of both of those is my favorite. Donnie Darko.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's hard to choose, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
It's hard to choose.
Hey, I mean, you got technically 4.
Yeah.
So pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, dude, I can't pick.
Man.
That's a dumb question.
Oppenheimer or Barbie?
I didn't see either one of them.
Really?
No. I'm going to. I just didn't. During that when it was coming out, I just didn't have time to like go
that's
and
fair.
watch them and stuff.
Yeah,
I
we
really wanted
did
to.
the whole double feature.
Did you?
Yeah, we did the whole.
I wanted to do that.
God, I'm glad we did Barbie first because Oppenheimer ruined my day.
Oh, really?
And I would not have gone to see Barbie after that. Yeah, it was like a 3-hour long panic attack.
Oh,
it was,
God.
It was beautiful. It was great. You
Really?
know, but it was I was like edge of my seat, and we saw it in IMAX too. So like my eardrums are being blown out the whole time. It's
Yeah. Where'd you see it at?
Regal,
Okay.
Mayfair. Yeah.
Wait. What's the point? Is the point Regal?
No, the point is I think it's like Stone Theaters or something. I don't know.
Gotcha.
That one, that's off of 17th.
Dude, that AMC closed down.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
What the hell? I loved that. That was my favorite place to go in college.
Yeah. Well, it's because it was like a $5 ticket.
Yeah, and it was 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Or apartment.
Yeah. I was like a great spot in town, midtown. You don't have to go to stupid Mayfair. Didn't have to go to all the way. Well, I mean, the point wasn't around until a couple of years ago.
No.
Yeah, yeah, it was like cheaper, a little dirty and stuff, a little sketchy.
Yeah, but it was
whatever.
like, like my hometown movie experience.
Right.
You know, it was like being back in Jamestown without these big fancy recliners.
Yeah. You can put your feet up on the back of the seat. No one cared.
Exactly. No
Yeah.
one's gonna turn around because you're doing it to the person in front of you.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
going to sit and gum and eat some stale popcorn.
Yep.
It was awesome. Mm-hmm. In my hometown, we had well, not really my hometown, but in Graham, North Carolina,
yeah.
there's a movie theater there.
Yeah.
And it's like a secondhand movie theater. So whenever the movies come in through, the normal theaters, and then they're done, the following week, Graham has them.
Okay.
And at the
Yeah.
time, I mean, it was like early 2000s. It was like $2 to go see a movie.
Dude, that's awesome.
$2 for a movie, $2 for a popcorn, and like $1 soda. So, like $5, you're living like a king, watching Matrix Reloaded, and or
Oh my God.
Lego something. Or I saw, so when they did all the Star Wars movies, like re-released them in like the late 90s, I saw all of them there. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a dollar theater like down the street from my place. So they'd show, like year-old movies.
Yeah.
But it was literally $1 for a ticket, and you just walk in, and
That's sick.
it was great.
Dude, I've been talking about opening up a movie theater for a long time. And one of my buddies who passed away, we had talked about doing it when we were in college, and we like got really into it. Like
Right.
started figuring out, like we made a business plan. We started like figuring out how much it's going to cost. We looked at a building on 4th Street that was Fox and Boxes. I don't know what it is now. We talked about rent and stuff. We talked to the owner, and I think it was the owner. I'm not sure who we talked to there.
I knew the guy that owned that place.
Oh yeah,
He was a manager at Panera Bread when I was working there before.
Really?
Before he opened that restaurant with his wife. Yeah.
Look at him go. What
Right.
do you know? What's there now? Is it
Nope.
still that? Okay,
No, I don't think they're still there.
dude. Restaurants are a fickle business.
They're very tough. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we talked about doing it, and we just got busy with life and didn't do it. Then he passed away, and we're like,
Right.
well, there goes that. But
Yeah.
so now I saw on Instagram that there's an independent movie theater opening up, and I don't know who's behind it. I don't know the guy, but that'll be something good.
Is it here in Wilmington?
Yeah.
What's it called? Is that the Velvet one?
Yeah, the Velvet Room.
Okay, yeah, they followed me on Instagram recently. I don't know who's behind it either, but I'm interested.
some
So,
guy named Ian.
Reach out, come on.
Yeah, I messaged him like, dude, whenever you get going and stuff, hit me up. We'll
Yeah.
get you on the pod, bro, and we'll talk about it and promote it and stuff. And
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, we got Django's, right? But it's small, man.
Yeah,
It is small.
yeah,
And I feel like that's probably a big deterrent for people too, to like, but they don't, do they really, do they show movies like weekly or nightly or?
not often. I mean, you have to have, because we tried to have an appendage viewing party.
Yeah.
At Django's. We were gonna have one for the crew, and I mean, we just got them on too short notice. You have to have like a 30-day notice and everything, and so they can open up, find staff, and do all that stuff. So I don't think it's like a weekly thing now.
Right. I mean, dude, imagine having like an independent movie theater in town that's showing, and there's some like kind of like laws and stipulations about movies. Like at the time when we were looking it up and, trying to come up with like a business plan, your screen had to be a certain size that you would have to pay the studios that own these movies a certain number depending on the size of your screen. Like it gets very, very specific. And we were like, well, let's just like charge a cover charge. And we're not really, you can come in and hang out and see a movie, because we're going to do like a bar and movie theater type of thing. And so if we charge a cover charge for, if there's like a bar going on or whatever, we're trying to figure out ways around it. But because there's so many like specific laws and stuff, and there's like, I don't know what he's going to do. But I'm sure he's got it all figured out and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, showing movies that you don't own is kind of a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Unless you're like kind of doing it on the table and you're not really telling anybody about it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that'd be sick.
It'd be killer, man. I mean, we've got, and especially for all the, local filmmakers we have who don't necessarily get a chance to display their work. Just a platform for that would be amazing. I mean, I know we have Cucaloris one weekend out of every year, but they're venturing towards more non-local films at this point, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose. I feel like the point of Cucaloris was to showcase the local crews, but that's really the only outlet we have.
Well, they prioritize local stuff, right? I feel like they do.
They have in the past, but I've take it with a grain of salt. I mean, this isn't I'm not on the board there, but I'm pretty sure they're trying to veer more towards non-local just to kind of expand.
Their
I
mean, I get it,
audience.
man. Making some money and stuff. Doing that, you want to grow, but also like having that local. I mean, they've been doing it a long time too.
Oh yeah,
like 25 years, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, That was a long time. But, you know, there's other film festivals out there, too, that they actually it's like a competition, too. They have, like, judges and stuff, and they have awards and stuff like that. I'm like, that would be kind of cool,
that would be.
to be able to get an award from, you know, like other film festivals do. I get, like, a non-compete type of thing, and, you know, we're just here to show our stuff. And
Right.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a big, massive thing. And it's kind of expensive, too, let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
a full pass is like, what was it last year?
I think 300.
I thought it was like 500, but 300 sounds
I could
right.
be talking out of my butt.
I mean, but
I've never bought a full pass for. I
Yeah.
can't afford it.
I mean, I feel like somehow I always end up with a pass.
Really?
Yeah, because just like working on stuff or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it would be cool if it was more centered around like local stuff too.
Yeah, totally.
You know, but I think there's other like little film festivals popping up around here that.
Yeah, I
people are
think
doing.
I want to say the Honeys had Imogene in one in Central North Carolina.
Oh, really?
I think.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
Again, talking out of my ass. I think I remember seeing that recently.
Yeah. Shout out Honeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grindhouse, dude. Check it out.
Will do. No, it's sick. Good season for it.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? Her leg is a machine gun.
Her leg is a machine gun. Yes. And it also shoots a rocket or a grenade, excuse me.
Oh my God. All
Bro,
right.
check it
I'm
out.
all about it.
Yes. What do you got?
God.
Are you busy with commercial stuff? Or are you, what's going on?
Currently, super unemployed.
Yep.
Yeah. No, like I said, I did that commercial last week, which I think was the first one I had done in like a month.
Really?
And yeah, don't really have anything lined up. I mean, we're kind of getting to that point where it's gonna die down November, December. It's gonna die down a little bit, and
Yeah.
for the holidays, and hopefully I have enough saved to make it to January. So,
Dude, I
We'll see.
cannot imagine being an LA crew member with an LA mortgage
no, God no.
with no LA money.
Dude, I have friends that moved out to LA at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it's like, God, and especially like LA rates too can be like, it's shocking how bad they can be.
Really?
Because so many people are working and so many people are doing different things. I mean, like the cost of gear is significantly cheaper there for rental.
Yeah.
And like the rates can just be incredibly low compared to what we're used to here. And it's like, you know, that's not enough to save up on, especially when their rent's double what ours is. I mean, I can't imagine.
Are you talking about like commercial union rates or?
Oh, no, non-union.
Gotcha.
Non-union rates are no, I mean, union rates are what they are.
Right.
And commercial rates are typically very good.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, a lot of the work is non-union. Indie stuff going around, especially people trying to, you know, make a name for themselves, like get a crew together, and it's hard.
Yeah, I can see where that can be a huge problem.
Yeah.
The whole trying to get out there and stuff, and how long does it take to get out there when you're out there? I mean, you're in LA, you just got to figure out who's doing what, and there's so much competition, I feel like.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff going on too, or it used to be.
That's the thing is, you know, I mean, for the amount of stuff we have going on here in Wilmington, there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
true.
very competitive environment here. I mean, you know, you have 3 main teams for like each department, and they kind of monopolize the work because they've always had it. They're gonna have it, and you know, until more stuff and especially smaller stuff starts to come, they're gonna continue to have that work.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't blame them, dude. Like
I
you've
don't
been
either.
doing,
Yeah.
you've been doing it that long. If you can control the market, go for it.
Yeah, that's
You know?
yours, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
you know, take care of your friends and family. That's what anyone would do.
Right.
So it's just an unfortunate truth of being in a small market like this.
Yeah, and honestly, as soon as the strike's over, I feel like the levees are going to open up.
I would hope so.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially in the indie world, because there's a lot of guys like myself and a bunch of other guys too that are like just pushing really hard to do our own productions, not LA come in, not New
Right.
York come in, not Louisiana come in, well, they don't really come in, but it's mostly LA and New York, which, you know, I love you guys and everything, but we want to try and like do this, you know, ourselves out here too. And, you know, but I guess it's just like a money thing. And that's really what it boils down to, is money and producers making it happen, investors and film incentives. And like our film incentives, like $1 million to be able to get a kickback, like a tax break.
Yeah.
Atlanta's is 500,000.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it's 250,000.
Which that's huge.
That's huge.
The amount of things that could be made for $250,000 here in Wilmington. I feel you're so much more likely to get that here in Wilmington than $1 million.
Right. And
Like,
but what you can do is you could actually take, if you took $1 million, you could get 4 projects out of it, and they would be somewhat decent.
That too. Yeah.
You know, there's just smaller crews and, you know, not as many big name actors and stuff like that. But you can still get a tax incentive that way if you just piggyback it off of, you know, 4 projects, 3 projects, whatever.
Right.
And that's what I think. I don't know what investors are thinking that want to invest in film and TV and stuff like that. But, you know, and I don't know if it's like a money laundering thing too, where you're like, I need some kickback off my tax dollars and I need to spend some money before this tax season comes up.
Right.
You know, I don't know how it works. I wish I did know how it worked better. And then I could figure out how to do it better. But, you know, that's just a thing in our market.
Yeah.
But yeah, when the strike's over, dude, the levies are going to open up. I mean, there's 4 projects I know of that are shelved because of the strike. So that'll be back on the table.
Right.
They're all indie stuff. And then there's...
and I mean, then the bigger stuff, I mean, there's Summer I Turned Pretty waiting to come back.
Yep.
You know, there were a couple other shows that unfortunately did not survive the strike, but...
Welcome to Flatch, right?
Welcome to Flatch didn't survive it. JNL did not survive it. But, I mean, on top of Summer I Turned Pretty, there's at least 2 other things looking to start up in January, so...
Come on, figure it out, guys.
Yep. Get us back to work. And then just in time for our IATSE contract to run out, which is great. They're going to throw whatever the fuck they want at us, and we're just going to take it.
I mean, dude, I get what they're doing, okay? Yeah. I get what they're doing. I get why they're doing it. I get why they have contracts and stuff. I get why they put timestamps on it because of inflation and everything. And you know, okay, what if we lived in a world where grips and electrics got back in points like actors did, or like set deck got back in points, like small fractions of it, you know? You know, we're not going to get a point, but like a fraction of a point. I'm sure that would be an accounting nightmare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Imagine every additional crew member fighting for anything, you know?
Well, like a key grip gets like an 1/8 of a point, and then best boy gets a 16th, and then the third gets, you know, a 32nd of a point.
Yeah.
Like you could structure it in a way, you know, where each department gets, you know, 1 point whole. Think of how much harder you would work if you would know, like, okay, if this movie does really well, I could get, you know, $100 check every month for the, you know, the duration of the movie, you know, if it keeps playing and stuff, and then like other back-end deals, and, you know, 10 years from now it gets bought by Netflix again and stuff like that.
True.
You know, when you work for a company, like if you go work for Google, you go work for a big company, you're going to get stock options.
Yeah.
Right? Why can't they do that with films? I mean, you got all that money coming in.
Yeah.
And you're not spending all of it.
No.
I mean, it's going in a producer's pocket. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
It's going in other people's pockets. It's getting filtered through there and through other various things. Why wouldn't you be able to give? I know we're all getting a paycheck. That's great. But also, what about stock options, aka back-end points?
Yeah.
You know, and have an option to be able to sell your points too.
That's going to be a long long time coming. I mean,
But
yeah,
it could happen.
it could happen.
Why couldn't it?
Well, because as soon as our contract runs out, no one's going to want to strike again. So, you know, we've just gone through a year of it.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw a deal at us. They're gonna be like, yeah, we'll pay you half of what we used to pay you, and we'll be like, yes, please, just let us work. No.
I repeat
No,
that in the
that
name of
wouldn't
Jesus. What I think is going to happen when our contract runs with 491 contract, I think they're going to be like, all right, contract's up. And this is what, so when the contracts come up, that was happening like the past couple of times, it doesn't last very long.
Right.
It might last like 2 weeks and then, or a month, and everything's back.
Yeah.
Which honestly, you know, waiting another month for no work is not great.
No. But at this point,
Yeah.
it's been a year.
It's been a year. Yeah. Hire us.
Please.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of sponsors, I only have one camera. So, Red, if you want to sponsor me, or Ari, or
Apple.
Apple. Apple doesn't make cameras, though.
No, but they're making the
phones.
laptop you're using. So.
Oh, true. Well, what else you want to talk about?
God, I don't know. We got really depressing at the end here.
Oh, we kind of did.
We got.
But I'm pretty optimistic about
Yeah.
all this, you know, and
Yeah.
and I think if they figure it out, tell AI to shut up a little bit,
Yeah.
and figure it out, and you know, we'll get back on track and stuff. But in the meantime, you know, we're gonna jump on more commercials and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
maybe go hang lights for Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way she goes, right?
We love it.
We love it. Well, Appendage looks great.
Yeah.
Powell, you absolutely crushed it, sir.
Great job. Great job.
All cast and crew that worked on my voice keeps cracking. All cast and crew that worked on Appendage, you guys knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great looking
That puppet,
film.
dude. Oh my god.
Look at that thing.
Gross.
Oof.
Love it. Yeah,
That
no,
was
it
fun.
Amazing cast, mostly local crew. I mean, it was a joy. It's a pleasure.
I think it
we
was
made
all
it look
local
at it.
crew,
I mean,
right?
come on. For the most part, there were
yeah.
a few.
First AC wasn't local.
Yeah.
DP wasn't local. Everybody else was pretty much local though, right?
Yeah, just about. Yeah. I don't think costumes were local.
Gotcha.
It was weird.
Mostly local.
Mostly local.
Yeah, man, that puppet was great. But
Yeah.
all right, I got to get out of here. Let's wrap it up.
All right, dude.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
coming in.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
I'm
This is
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, dude, you're welcome back
Yeah.
anytime. If you
Sweet.
decide to have other favorite movies you want to talk about, just
Yeah.
let me know.
Yeah, I'll come up with a list of 10. I'll watch 10 movies and I'll finally know 10 to talk about. So.
Okay, cool. And when that other movie comes out, I want you to come back and we'll talk about some frames and stuff.
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
All right, love you, dude.
Love you too, Ben.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, cutting.
Here's an old
Film, church, worship. Talking with creators, not allergic to the work and speaking sound with resonation. Finding purpose and patience. The scribbles filling the pages. Too many targets to be shot. Can waste the ammo with complacence. Demons and angels remain in battle for angles. Stained glass light leaking shadows of strangers. Comatose roses only frozen in danger. Listen to the gossip, lose your life to a wager.